ready for the party? I'll try, I guess.
Riverdale, a show that honestly shouldn't have worked when it was announced for the CW. Mainly because it was an angsty, dark, and very CW-esque version of the beloved Archie comics that have been around for decades. To the surprise of many, though, the show not only succeeded, it thrived, even inspiring spin-offs like Sabrina on Netflix and Katie Keene, though both have been officially canceled now. Riverdale, though, is aiming to go strong in Season 5, and as a result, many fans are waiting for it to arrive. Join us as we reveal to you 10 reasons why you should be excited for Riverdale Season 5.
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video.
10. Cliffhanger!
This is you and the screen grab from the video you received.
Is it you holding the camera in that photo?
Let's start with the most obvious thing, shall we? The end of Season 4 wasn't exactly what it was supposed to be, and to be fair, that wasn't Riverdale's fault. The global lockdown happened and it caused a lot of shows, including ones well beyond CW, to have to shut down production. As a result, all of the CW shows, save for a few that had short seasons, found themselves dealing with a major problem of how to end their seasons. Thankfully, for most though, they decided to go and make a key episode end with a huge cliffhanger, which meant that they could at least end on a solid note. In the case of Season 4, the tape maker came back and delivered one more tape, one showing the death of Mr. Honey. Fans were shocked by this, and of course, the tape was revealed by it being shown to Archie and crew, which means that they have a major problem on their hands. Why? Well, 9. It takes a village.
He is a special kid, and he is a superb writer, but he needs a break.
The cliffhanger didn't just show the death of a major character via Mr. Honey, it also revealed the rather large scope of the team behind the tapes. For if you watched the episode, you noticed that the last video showed 6 people killing Mr. Honey, which means that this must well and truly be a group effort. Before, it seemed like it was only one person behind the videotapes, which made for a large pool of suspects that needed to be whittled down. And given that this is Riverdale Season 4, there are a lot of suspects to deal with for sure. However, with the reveal that there are at least 6 people behind all of this, that casts a wider net. And now, quite literally, anyone who has a beef with Archie, Veronica, Betty, and Jughead are suspects, which, in this case, might just be most of Riverdale. We mean this honestly, as the first 4 seasons have proven how dark the Big Four can be and how their actions have affected everyone around them, both for the better and for the worse. If enough people are tired of their crap and want to get even, they don't have to look far to get help. This would also explain how they were able to not just recreate horrifying moments from the Big Four's lives via the tapes, but also how they know about them all. 8. Memories.
So that by the time we frogs realized we were being boiled alive, it was too late.
That, in and of itself, has been one of the biggest mysteries surrounding the tape maker.
I think we got him.
How do they know all about what Archie, Betty, Veronica, and Jughead went through? Some of the events recreated were only known to the 4 and the ones who were doing it to them, who are gone now, in part or in whole.
Oh, hell no.
So since this is now a group effort, it's more than likely that it's multiple people pooling their events to deal with the Big Four and freak them out to high heaven, which, by the way, it's working. But even with this particular revelation, you have to wonder who is spilling the beans, who would be willing to not just give up that information, but then use it against them. In short, what is? 7. The Endgame.
Hell, he wants both of us to leave. Let's not give him that satisfaction, okay?
It's easy for you to say, Jug. I'm not calling you Gargoyle Boy.
One of the biggest problems that the lockdown gave to the Riverdale show was how they had to cut the Season 4 storyline before it was ended. Again, not Riverdale's fault, but every season has ended a conflict so that a new one can be born. But now, that's not an option in the most literal sense. We need to know what is going on, and right now, there are still a lot of questions that need to be answered, such as, what's the end game with the tapes? If Mr. Honey is dead, which some people think he's not, then this group is escalating. They're getting bolder, but again, how does this all end up with the Big Four? Is this simply mental warfare? Psyops, if you will, to try and break them mentally? Or are they sending them warnings that eventually they'll be the ones on the tapes? The endgame is very important for seasonal plots, and especially one as dark as this needs to be explained because it almost feels too random at certain points in terms of how it's affecting everyone. So what is the master plan? What is the final move? And most importantly, 6. Who will survive?
Do it.
No matter what the true endgame is, whether it be torture or death in regards to Archie, Betty, Veronica, and Jughead, you have to wonder how many of the bad guys and the rest of Riverdale will survive the encounter. It goes without saying that the Big Four will survive, it's literally their show. But as shown in the past, supporting characters and the villains aren't so easily let off the hook. More than likely there will be a big showdown between the group behind the tapes and the Big Four. So, who will win? Who will die? What will the revelations of the people behind the masks do to everyone? That last question is especially important. 5. Fallout.
What the hell is wrong with you?
What I'm about to tell you puts everything on the line.
Another major problem that is gonna hinder season 5 of Riverdale is that they can't just rush the ending of the season 4 storyline. They need to finish it, and finish it well. And then, once that's all said and done, they need to go and show the immediate fallout before heading to the true season 5 storyline, which we'll get into later. This may not seem important, but it honestly is. This tape storyline is very trippy and it's messing with the Big Four. If they just brush it off after it ends, that misses the point. Someone has to be scarred by this, especially with what will come next. 4. Time skip.
I think tomorrow I want to go back to school, if you think you'll be okay.
Okay, let's do a little rewind. At the end of season 4, Archie, Veronica, Betty, and Jughead all had graduated high school. It was a big moment for the characters, as you can imagine, and not unlike a lot of high school kids in their high school days, they all have notions to get out of Riverdale and go to college. The problem, storyline-wise, is that the colleges that they all want to go to are all different. Betty had plans to go to Yale, Veronica to Barnard College, Archie to enlist in the Naval Academy, and Jughead's future was still up in the air, although he did just submit an essay application to the University of Iowa, along with a glowing recommendation letter from Mr. Honey, who is potentially dead now, if you recall, so that's a bit ironic right there. So, the show now has a couple of different options ahead of them. They can try and do a season where everyone is apart, maybe talks to each other via phone, video chat, or some other thing and hopes to keep everyone's attention. Or they can do a time skip and just jump over the college years and have them come back to Riverdale after they've graduated. In many ways, the time skip is the best option, and for a reason that many have noted. Mainly, the problem with the CW shows is that they often don't play in real time, which means that the actors and actresses are much older than their characters. Case in point, Smallville cast had to play high schoolers and early college kids well into their 20s, and the current Big Four of the Riverdale cast are already in their 20s, and thus a time skip would allow them to act their age, if you will. What's more, another WB show did this for their cast in the form of One Tree Hill. They skipped the college years and played up the storylines once everyone came back.
We have a new enemy in our midst. This killjoy is our new principal, Mr. Honey.
According to reports, the initial plans were to do a time jump, but then the global lockdown happened and the season had to end early. Many are wondering now how this will all play out because there are still some dangerous people in Riverdale that need to be dealt with before they go to college. Only time will tell how this is all gonna play out. Pun intended. 3. New relationships.
And the thoughtful, intelligent young adults you've become.
To the future.
So, on the basis that season 5 might feature the time jump, there is something very serious that needs to be discussed: the relationships on the show. Mainly because 4 years is a long time in any lifetime, real or fictional, and who knows what all is going to happen in those 4 years at college. While it's fair to say that the Big Four will all return to Riverdale, will it be as the same people who left? How will they be in terms of the connections to each other, to the town itself? This is not something to gloss over as it's a big plot point. 2. New characters.
It was so funny. She jumped on top of me and just laid her in my arms. Like, it was so funny.
And, of course, when it comes to a new season of a show, there are always new characters. It's basically a law. From new villains to new supporting characters, new families showing up, it all happens in Riverdale. Plus, with the college years behind them, they might be bringing people back with them to Riverdale. 1. Season 5 plot.
I can walk exactly like an orangutan.
Oh my god. Oh, I remember.
Finally, we have the obvious question, what happens next? We know that the season 4 plot is going to be wrapped up, but eventually they'll have to do the time skip, more than likely, and dive into the season 5 plot upon the character's return. So, what will be waiting for them in Riverdale when they do return? What new horrors from their past might strike? It's hard to say, but most definitely, this is what will bring fans back most of all.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.
So, what did you think? What did you think of this look at Riverdale Season 5 and how things might come to be? What do you personally hope happens? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.